All right, folks. Game number 3 currently underway. Spawning here in the bottom right side on potentially his last life. It is. No, not potentially. He is on his last life. It's the Orange Protoss HuK.
In the bottom left as the teal Zerg, he's Hydra.
Gonna go big or go home with these bank heists. Bank heist 3000. Let's do this.
Let's see if I kill both you and Scarlet again.
I finally saw someone finally failed a bank heist the other day.
At the beginning of a cast.
I know,
like
and nobody was
people
around.
Saw.
So sad. But okay, you guys are tuning into the Ting Open. This is the winners bracket finals, and whoever wins this is safe and sound out of the groups. Whoever loses will have to fight against Masa in one last best of 5 tonight. But this has gone pretty quick and pretty smoothly, and I'm very happy because, as you pointed out earlier, it's been like a year since we've done group stages, and I forgot how nice and not headachy they are. Like, you just have a nice smooth ride as a caster and get to enjoy a lot of games with the fans.
This would definitely be going an hour longer just because of the lobbies. If this was an open bracket and waiting for people to actually realize you're going to be cast. But we have a resub. Damn it, I shouldn't have called this one.
Yeah, I don't know why the Twitch alerts aren't making noises for me tonight, but Brajasher.
Brajasher.
By the way, did you see I nailed the time, and I get to give you a bit of a slap next time I see you.
I saw the tweet. I can't believe you got it into 16 minutes, though.
17, but yes, under 20 was the point.
Whatever, fine.
I even had to stop partway through.
Be gentle.
I don't know. Give me a countdown, though. I gotta go try the winner for Mr. Boris Makarov's giveaway.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Like, who counts down from 4? Nobody.
I just pick a random number. 6,
no, you always
7,
go with 4.
4, 3. No, I just don't go with 5, 3, or 10.
It's funny you picked 4 this time because it was Solar424 who won the raffle. So congratulations on your copy of Dark Souls. Please contact Mr. Boris Makarov, as it was his game that he wanted to give away. So if he's not here, we'll redraw it later, of course. But Solar424 is usually a pretty active member of chat and a big part of the base trade family. So congratulations to you, sir.
We died.
Did we? Did I die while I was doing the
betrayal.
raffle? Son of a 3,000 Partus down the drain! You know why? Because I didn't gun check. I should have gun checked. That was my mistake.
Yep, you're right.
Now, Hydra, he does expand towards his opponent, but incidentally, this isn't necessarily a bad move. It does put him a little bit closer to HuK, and if HuK wants to get aggressive, sure, this base could be under attack, but it's better than dancing around with Blink. We're seeing more and more Zerg players just say, no, it's not worth it ever taking this base versus Protoss, even if they're not known to do Blink all-ins, because it almost gives the Protoss a free win if they can pull off that Blink move properly.
Yeah. It's surprising that, like, the last, 4 games we've seen on this map, PvZ that is, that we have not seen that Blink Soccer all in. It's actually been very late macro games. But this is a different type of attack. It's going to be Resonating Glaive, so still kind of all in. Hydra is, he did take the base that ended up being closer to HuK, so it's a little awkward. HuK will be able to get to his base sooner. But if Hydra is able to overwhelm HuK, the immediate counterattack could be very deadly for HuK.
Happens a lot, yeah. I guess that is the danger, too. Like, if HuK gets up on the front lines, if he loses everything, say, like, right here at that ramp or something, then Hydra responds with roaches and lings. They're across the map fast. They're already there to start with. But he is putting a proxy down. And the question is, how much dedication is this Dark Shrine going to get? Because we are seeing some games where, honestly, the Dark Shrine only does make about 2 DTs, and then just it invests into Archons, because DTs are kind of cost-effective Archons when you don't have a lot of gas to spare.
Yeah. We'll see. He did this against Masa as well, so versus Terran. Just really, the first Adept attack didn't really matter. It was about those DTs, and then the eventual Adepts that kind of closed out the game. We'll see if it's the same thing versus Zerg.
This Adept attack, by the way, without Lings to surround and cause problems, they were killing Queens and Roaches pretty easily. Takes a position on the ramp because he didn't want to get surrounded by Lings, but unfortunately still may happen. Luckily, he did already Sonic Transfer away, though, so not too problematic at all. Gets caught by the Roaches once again, but he wants drone kills. Not getting any so far, but that's where the DTs might just come in. A lot of this with the Adepts has been kind of look over here, look over here, look at me, look at me. There is no there is a layer, excuse me, so he can make overseers. But there's there's no spore crawlers down blindly. Hydra paying a lot of attention to the Adepts. Might not have even looked. No, he saw this.
Ooh.
Overseer start up immediately. Good eyes out of Hydra.
Dang. Very good eyes. So 3 Overseers, in fact. 2 for 2 bases, I guess, and then 1 for the main army. Just so odd that they're all morphing. Unfortunate, in fact, that they're all morphing in the same place. So a couple of drones will go down. HuK, once again with the Adept, whatever's left over, trying to get more damage done. He adds on 2 more gateways to move to a total of 7 instead of a 3rd. And Hydra does note that with a Ling or something over there. So I don't know if this is the better plan, to be honest. Like
16 workers killed through this is not bad, but it does leave HuK with almost no army to fight with. We talked about this before, right? Like the counterattack could be devastating. But Hydra still hasn't cleaned this up, so he can't go for a clear counterattack yet. 22 workers, that number's still rising, but sitting on 39 behind it's not too shabby.
Yeah, that's why I'm really I really don't know if the follow-up attack is going to be better or trying to defend against Hydra's attack is going to be better. I guess it was the case that he was suiciding all of his units again, you know, what Protoss has kind of evolved into. And the army supply was not very good up until now, so if he had tried to take in that 3rd base, it would have entirely been dependent on post and overcharges.
Oh, I just realized with the proposed Corsair Bile change, can they still one-shot a sentry? 45 damage? Yeah. Right? It's 2020 on a sentry?
I thought you confirmed it. I don't know.
No, that was like a yeah with a question mark. Excuse me. Huge Adept attack coming down here to the 3rd. Anyways, that's proposed balanced up. We'll leave it for another time. Not important for right now. The Adepts are just going to focus on that Queen pretty quickly. The Ravagers are, of course, scary initially, but he's actually got enough Adepts to take them on. Let's not forget he has Resonating Glaives as well. He is just going to try and dodge and weave and do some damage here, of course, but HuK's Adept army is actually kind of so insane. I feel like he could take Hydra on in a head-on engagement.
Maybe. He's not going to try, though, and we'll just shade into the ramp, I guess.
Oh, but if he gets caught here, that's where you get stuck with the Corsair Biles. He's got to get out of there.
Okay,
Kills the Lynx to open his way out.
Kills his own Overlord with his Corsair Biles. Doesn't supply block him, though. Hydra is starting to falter a little bit, but he's still not terrible. You know, it's like...
The workers
HuK's doing
killed.
okay.
I mean, consistently killing, what, 40 workers now over the course of the game.
That is a lot of workers. I am worried that the army supply is going to be good for Hydra.
This is what I like to see. Like, what HuK's doing, this attempt, this strategy, like, okay, his army supply is garbage behind this. Like, 18 army supply, he dies to a counterattack. But there's no chance for a counterattack if he's constantly being aggressive and he's constantly attacking and leaving Hydra at home every step of this game. So... up until this point, this has been fantastic, but now we hit a bit of an awkward spot. Hydra's not only supply blocked, his drone count is
Yeah.
but HuK doesn't have a great standing army at home. He's getting there, and if Hydra gives him too much time, with Immortals out, he will have a good army.
Right, that was always the worry. That was the worry back when he added 2 more gates instead of going for the 3rd base. It's still the worry now as he tries to get to a 3rd base. But he also has a Robo, so that's a difference there too. Like, he has a Robo producing Immortals more specifically. And that's going to help break through the Roach line.
I have no idea if it's just choice and strategy or what, but I just feel like HuK is playing so much better in this game than he did in the other two. Not to say he played poorly, but like he is actually playing very well in this game. And I really like the choice for aggression. Unfortunately, now it's starting to peter off a little bit. Dark Templar actually has no detection in the natural, no detection in the main. I think Hydra knows this. Yeah, the Lynx are trying to block it out. Cheeky buggers.
Gosh, I feel like this is when you like interrupt like ants in a line, you know, and they're just like, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. No, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go over here. That was that's cute by Hydra. So here is his grand army, but by the time he was ready to push, HuK was ready to receive the push. Now has 2 Immortals, a lot of Adepts, nice force fields go down, and this was kind of all in from Hydra. He was only on 38 drones. He's trying to get, you know, another upgrade. He's trying to get to Hydralist, but he just lost a lot of his army. And I think HuK Relentless Aggression has worked.
Well, this push is off, and yeah, I was not expecting to see HuK with the army supply lead in this game. It's just, it is way too common that we see, you know, 80 Roach Ravager versus like 40, 30 Protoss, but this is actually looking really good for HuK to maybe even win the game at this rate if we keep this momentum going.
Oh, yeah.
But Hydra is still teching behind this. We did just get a brand new sub!
Woohoo!
Go Tintin good. Yo, I love
good, maybe?
Oh, I don't know. Got it in good. Okay. I was going to say I love Tintin, like the comic growing up, but
hey,
Harry Pun!
Harry Pun!
Subtrain, well not Subtrain, but Sub Combo there back to back. Thank you guys so much for subscribing.
Sub Caboose. It's a very small Subtrain.
Well, the Sub Caboose would be like the last guy who subs after the Subtrain, right?
It's
like,
true. Yeah.
But that puts it 869. I like subscribers. Thank you so much.
It made me go up a little bit.
Like right in your mouth? Was it like was it like eating a jelly bean?
Ew, any jelly bean's gross.
You're
And
gross.
you know that. Hate jelly beans.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do when I slap you in real life. I'll be gentle, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a jelly bean and I'm gonna take like a fistful of jelly beans and like put them on the palm of my hand.
No, that's terrible.
And I'm gonna slap you in the mouth. That way it force feeds you some
if you do
jelly
that, I
beans.
have to tell you my jelly bean story. And then I'll gross everyone out.
Okay, then don't. There you go.
Well, if you do that, then I have to do that, you know? And this is a threat.
This is like a threat. Yeah, it's like, but this isn't the Cold War where you've got a nuke locked and loaded. You're like more like North Korea with this threat.
The tiny little dinky missile.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and launch that nuke. We'll see how that does. Go ahead. Yeah.
Whatever.
The army supply at HuK though is still holding strong. Hydra has finally started to catch up, but disruptors are going to make this a very fun game. This is a lot looking like it might be a more classic PvZ from what we saw towards the ends of the beta, where you had this very tough dynamic of lurkers on one side, which would be usually more economically stable, and cooldown-based units like the disruptors winning for Protoss, but neither could really push into each other without taking heavy losses. I do think in HuK's current position, though, he doesn't actually have to sit here and take this fight. Again, whether it's a warp prism or whether it's walking around or just warping more DTs from this gateway, he can get behind Hydra pretty easily.
Yeah, that is pretty scary, and it's actually Hydra who wants to get behind HuK and get a nice little hug of death, if you will, with the lurkers. The disruptors are now out, and the person's gonna get a good shot. Oh my god, they got a great shot.
There's like an average shot between the two of them, but yeah, one got a good hit, the other got a terrible hit. Either way, Hydra does take a pretty heavy dump in supply. HuK expanding towards Hydra is also questionable, I guess. I mean, these could just be pylons set up for the sake of pylons, but I imagine he wants to get these set up so he can put a Nexus down at some point. Defensively speaking, I do think disruptors are a little bit scarier than lurkers to walk into, but at the same time, disruptors can take out lurkers, whereas it's not the other way around.
Yeah. If this is the position they're going to find themselves in, HuK should eventually win out with the cooldown-based disruptor army, and now two disruptors at a time as well, so going to 6 and 8 is going to be quite extreme. Hydra would need to have been advancing his tech to actually beat this out. They're going up to Brood Lords or Vipers are also an option, but just more lurkers are eventually going to die out, and he lost such a big chunk of his army. His supply looked absolutely terrible.
Yeah, we've talked about how HuK's one of these players who doesn't bring the Warp Prism out and will usually leave it at home, kind of AFK for the overcharge, and it's a good thing he did because he's going to need it. 4 overcharges will secure this base if he needs to burn all of them. Meanwhile, continuing this assault on the front line, Hydra is just bleeding units out every time he pushes in. For HuK's sake, if he had a few more Immortals, he could just push through these lurkers, but he's still killing them for free with the disruptors. So, as you point out, like cool down base, like it's like energy based units. You're just waiting a small period of time before you can cast that spell again.
Hydra's gonna try and sneak out the infestation pits, but then the hive's gonna take a long time. The Vipers will take some time too to get just the energy, and HuK is borderline like able to A move into what is over here. Well, you know, like a handful of lurkers, a handful of Hydras.
I think he's waiting until he can take out those spore crawlers, because the biggest thing that's keeping him from doing this is detection. He does only have the one observer after all. No oracle for revelations, and if that gets picked off by the spore crawlers, then your push is dead in the water before you even realize it.
That is a good point. He also can finish up his own tech, so Blink's on the way. His upgrades can also finally start, as that is one thing he has definitely been missing this entire game. As Hydra is going up to 2-2, HuK won't even be on +1 by that time. But, you know, disruptors don't need upgrades.
So while we're kind of riding the tail end of that sub hype, people are asking how long it took to read off all these sub names. I actually uploaded it to YouTube, like this, before we even uploaded any VODs from the cast yesterday. But looks like, hold on, HuK's actually going to push into this. Those disruptors, though, why? Oh my god, why?
Oh my god.
What the? That's how you throw a game right there. HuK just loses so much supply. This push-out was good, but the disruptors should not have been on the front lines, because these disruptors were what was going to carry him through every fight following this initial one. Now he's lost the Adepts, he's lost the Stalkers, he's losing the Immortals. He may have lost
supply.
Like, his upgrades are non-existent. Hydra's on 2-1 behind this. Losing a big fight like this may cost HuK the game.
Potentially, HuK does have a much bigger bank, and Hydra
Oh
might even be regretting
no.
trying to go up to Hive with this. Like, he
Oh
could
god.
potentially get a nice army again and maybe try and push into HuK's fourth. But either way, I think it is going to be this point where HuK realized he made a very big mistake. But lucky for him, it was not quite game throwing, and he just needs to calm down for a second and, you know, do better next time.
I mean, HuK is he's still got the army supply lead, and the immortal count is huge. So, I mean, he's still in this game. But damn, he threw away that lead hard. Zombie grub. Hydra eating those disruptors to the face. Oh, how funny is this? I don't think either player. I'm gonna ruin the graphs to see. No, neither player. Okay, HuK actually does see that. I don't know how he sees it, but he does barely. Alright, so he's gonna start trying to move around the army. Again, one of the bigger problems for HuK is like he doesn't have great detection through this, and you don't want to interrupt disruptor cycles after losing 5 to stop and make an observer. This is where an oracle I think would be handy. There's a lot of instances where the new oracle revelation is not a good thing, but this is one of the few times it would be, in my opinion.
I think having an extra oracle to help out your observers is sometimes even crucial against lurker play, as so often observers will die in the line of fire. So the revelation is definitely a better tool, but only if you already have one out. The lurkers are just spread enough to be able to probably defend this fourth base, but well, it was the third.
What is happening? Is there a magnet? Is there a magnet somewhere down here that we don't know about?
Did they fix the disruptor thing where like you're attracted to the disruptor, now the disruptor's attracted to hydras?
I don't know.
That's what it looks like, okay? That was what the flip.
Yo, that's 11 disruptors down this game, and only one of which didn't die unnecessarily. Oh, but that Hydra hit was fantastic. He bowled a strike on that one. Abducting units into the lurkers, however, actually splits the lurker attack, and that may have just helped HuK a little bit more than hurt him, as he does take out the last few lurkers. So despite how terribly this has gone, he is starting to really push through, and GG. How does he win this game?
Oh my
Actually,
God.
I can tell you precisely how he won this game. Through the early game. HuK actually had a great early game to this. Let's not forget, despite how messy and terribly handled that was towards the end, his early game set him up so well for this latter half of the match.